trying to head out. We're at Van Horn heading to Arizona today. And, you know, typical just full-time RVing, expect the unexpected. And I was closing all the slide outs in, and then for some reason this door would not latch. And it was missing the latch by like 1/4 of an inch, which is so strange because we've never ever had this happen before. So I brought the slides back out because I had brought them in, and then it still wasn't working. So then I said, well, maybe it has to do with it not being level. So Don took the back jacks up, still wasn't working. So what we noticed was when they mounted, I guess, this latch, they mounted it low, so when it latched, it was actually latching high, but it was enough that it was working, but I guess being slightly off, if you're not level, then it was just enough to throw off the door latching. So Don had to cut away a little more of where it latches in so that the door would close, because we cannot travel down the road with a door hanging open or we'll have a problem when we get there. So anyway, just one of those things. We actually were running ahead of schedule because of the time change, and this threw us off a little bit, but you know what, that's just the things that happen. So he's working on that. Hopefully that won't delay us too much, and then we should be able to get the slide outs out and head on out. All right, so it's day 2 of traveling, and we started out pretty good. We were ahead of schedule, but then we had a hiccup with the door. One of the doors inside the RV for some reason wouldn't close. I don't know why, but anyway, Don took care of that, but that delayed us a good little while. Luckily, we go through a time change today, and then we had the clocks were moved forward for most of the country last night, so we're actually going to gain 2 hours because Arizona doesn't change their time, so that will help us. So hopefully we should get there at a decent time. We also plan on stopping to get the RV washed at a Blue Beacon, so we'll take you through that process. That's kind of fun if you've never been through that, or those who, I know we have quite a few people that tune in that don't travel full-time, so that'll be something new for you to check out. So now one of the beautiful areas, one of my favorite parts in traveling from Texas to Arizona, is the Guadalupe Mountains, and these things are just absolutely beautiful. So we're getting ready to go into them now, and I think we cross over. Did we cross over the time change?
Yeah, it'll be up over this. So we go around this bend up here.
Over this bend here, and then we cross over into the next time zone, which is kind of neat. But these are just, they're absolutely beautiful going into them. So get to see the view here.
Mannery Mountain Time.
Mountain time zone.
Okay.
Whoop, we just gained an hour. What's the peak of the wind?
20 miles an hour. So.
Oh, good. Hopefully. that going through New Mexico too? I know New Mexico can be super windy. Oh, good. Something you definitely have to watch out here because the wind can all of a sudden take you by surprise, and next thing you know, you're in the next lane. Ask us how we know. Yeah. So we're going into El Paso now. We tried to go to the Blue Beacon to get the RV washed, and there was a super long line, and there were also trucks waiting on the road to go in. So since we have a long travel day today, we decided that probably didn't have time. It estimated probably would have been at this point close to 2 hours. So we were like, we just don't have time for that. So unfortunately, we don't get to share that experience with you today. So the next Blue Beacon isn't until like Phoenix. So we may either have to just wash it ourselves, which is a huge job and takes like a whole day, or you can pay people to come out and wash it too. So we may opt for that choice. It's not the cheapest choice in the world, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we are now going through El Paso, which is very congested. We're just entering into the beginning stages of it. But this area is super congested, and the speed limits are pretty fast for the curvy, hilly interstate going through a very congested city. So we're not big fans of it. This is probably our least favorite town or city, I guess you should say, to travel through. But I'm gonna tape through it, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully today will be a smooth day traveling through the city. We shall see.
And some of what that was been flying past us in a car in a rocket, and then they went up there and changed 4 lanes over. They drive crazy around here. There's a lot when you change the lanes because the cars change lanes frequently.
University. Yeah, that's all Mexico over there.
And looking straight ahead, that's Mexico over there. The big X.
Yeah, if you can see as we approach it better, you should be able to see it better.
Juarez, Mexico.
Is that what's on the hillside? Is that what it says?
No, it just read the street sign.
Oh, there's something. See on the side of the hillside, on the mountain, it has some writing. Something Lila. I don't know exactly what it said. So if you take exit 22B, you will go to Mexico, which is not where we want to go. So staying on the left side of the highway. I mean, we have our passports, but still not where we want to go. get a good glimpse into Mexico here because on the other side, yeah, we're right up close to where the wall is.
There's the wall.
Oh, okay, there we go. So if I close in a little bit better, you see the black gate or fence, I guess you would say. That's the wall that divides the United States from Mexico. And then if you can see the black line, that's the gate. That's the fence that divides United States and Mexico. Well, I was trying not to jinx us because I know we're traveling on Sunday, which probably makes a difference too. But the traffic was a lot lighter than what it normally is.
Yeah, it still sucked.
I mean, it's still right. I'm not saying it was great, but it was a whole lot better than what it normally is. Oh, I think we spoke too soon. See, I knew we were going to jinx us. There is construction.
Well, the wall doesn't change lanes.
On the other side, once we started, we're now on the other side of the outskirts of El Paso.
Yeah.
Would you start to say?
So at least the wall doesn't change lanes on you.
Oh, yeah. I know. I don't get it. You always like to be by the wall in construction, and it makes me nervous. I like to be on the open side, but you always like to be along the wall. But these lanes are super skinny.
They are so skinny. The button might be puckering a little bit.
Ah, you're used to it now, the miles we've traveled, right?
Yeah. Better than being between two walls like we were in Columbus, around Columbus. Those
Yeah.
are great.
Yeah, those are.
Dugouts on the log floor. So you might ask yourself, what makes El Paso a place in the country I hate to drive through the worst? And that is that the big city we just went through, all the crazy traffic, multiple lanes, curving up and down hills, back and forth. And now we're getting ready to hit the part that heads up to Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is basically a north-south highway, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but the problem is that it's in the desert and you have crosswinds almost all the time. So the winds aren't supposed to be too bad today, but some days, white knuckling, I've driven down the road like 45 miles an hour, white knuckling because the winds were pretty intense.
All right, we are crossing over New Mexico, and there it is. New Mexico
Texas.
welcomes you. Yay, we're in New Mexico now.
Bye, Texas.
Bye, Texas. I traveled 3 days in Texas,
Yep.
east to west. That's how big that state is. So we're coming up on a very popular rest area in New Mexico. It's in Las Cruces. And the reason is because it has this giant roadrunner on the top. So you get to the top of the hill, and we actually pulled into that rest area. We don't have time today, but we pulled into it last year. And the thing is really a large statue, but it's made of all metal. So I looked it up to find out why the Roadrunner is so famous. So it says the Roadrunner is famous in New Mexico because it's the state bird and it is closely connected to the history and culture of the state, which is very cool. It established New Mexico state legislature adopted the Roadrunner as the state bird in 1949. Early settlers believed Roadrunners would lead lost people. I'm sorry, I can't read today. Early settlers believed roadrunners would lead lost people back to the right path. Some Native American tribes believed the roadrunner had supernatural powers and protected against evil spirits. So in the culture, the roadrunner is considered a symbol of strength, courage, speed, and endurance. The roadrunner's feathers are used to ward off evil. The Roadrunner is the mascot of many high schools and colleges in the United States, and the Roadrunner is the mascot of the Tucson Roadrunners, a professional hockey team. So it's that. There you go. All you ever wanted to know about Roadrunners. Use extreme caution, the sign says. Do not stop in travel lanes. So these yellow signs warning about dust storms. As you drive down, it gives you instructions on what to do. Zero visibility possible, it says. So these dust storms can be pretty intense through here, which a lot of them occur in those high winds, which in addition to tipping over, you get those dust storms with the high winds. So you really have to watch those when you're out here driving. We've seen some dust storms where the dust is blowing across the highway pretty intensely, but we've been very blessed that we haven't run into any of those yet. But we hear they can be pretty intense.
The last 2 days they've had high wind warnings.
Yeah, like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, and sand, blowing sand, dust warnings.
So we're glad we weren't traveling earlier this week. That could have been definitely an issue for us. Here's a truck parking. I'll let him do his thing because we're not on a time restraint like they are. So when we come into truck stops, we try to be mindful and courteous, knowing that they're working, and so we try to stay out of their way. But we do have to go through the truck stop because we have diesel. Yep. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one do you think? I know, we always pick the slowest lane. I say, I don't know. What do you think? Well, this guy on the left, Stagecoach, is walking back to his truck, so maybe he's getting ready to move. Oh no, the dirty truck has hit his brakes. We'll see. Hopefully he is leaving and didn't just get here. But what I was saying is we try to be courteous of the trucks, and there is truck etiquette. We have to go through truck stops, the truck area, because of having diesel and having a large rig. You can't get into a lot of the smaller gas stations and where the cars go. But the etiquette is you pump your gas, and when you're done, you pull up.
And checking the temperature on the dashboard, because when we stopped for fuel earlier, it was 40 degrees. So now it's 67 outside. So I'm not necessarily going to freeze my derriere off like I was earlier.
So you don't need a jacket this time.
But we did learn in Arizona a year or two ago that I always went to the gas station and saw the sunglasses goggles, and I thought, what in the world is that? That's stupid. Well, we're standing at a pump in Arizona near Phoenix, and it was blowing so bad, all the sand in the air, I couldn't hardly see to use the pump. I had to put my glasses on and cover my eyes and stuff. It was awful. So I definitely see the need for this goggles at times.
Yep. So this truck stop, Loves are usually pretty nice. This one actually has a dog park, which is awesome because I can take Chloe over there to go and do her business, and they even have little poopy bags and all that good stuff. So I'll bring her in here. Kind of windy. You can feel the wind. I know, Chloe. You're in a hurry, babe. We're hurrying. Come on, up here. Alright, there we are, Chloe. We're still in the gas aisle because the truck in front of us has not moved. So we're just waiting for him to move. And then we'll move up.
Hey guys, this doesn't happen very often. You got like the truck stop. I like 3 fifth wheels in a row. I don't know who they are, but there they are. Anyways, we gotta use the bathroom and get back on the road.
It's a border patrol area, isn't
Yeah,
it?
border patrol checkpoint. You love going through this thing.
I don't know why. I just get very nervous with those things.
She panics. She's like, "We're gonna throw you in jail."
I know.
You're from the U.S. and you don't do anything. Like, what's gonna happen to you?
I don't know. I just get anxious with like authority figures or something. I don't know what it is. So there was a sign as we're coming into this particular mountain. And what did it say about the winds?
Lateral wind area.
Lateral wind area, so it said be alert, right? It
Yes.
flashed.
The high profile vehicles, yes, so be alert. The high profile vehicles, you want to be very aware of crosswinds. Basically what it's telling you is you get crosswinds. When you're a travel trailer, it's you feel the wind bounce you around and stuff, and you get the fifth wheel, that extra height really starts to move you around when it's windy. And then if you have full profile, which we have, which is the roof is high all the way back. They're like 13.6, 13.5, something like that. Then you just want to pay attention, to what the truckers are doing, stuff like that. You may have to reduce your speed, just stay aware. We keep some water in our fresh water tank and stuff. Now, most of these travel days out west, just for extra weight to keep the center of gravity down. But if you're not comfortable with that, then the truckers are pulling off the road, whatever, pull off the road. Don't be overly confident because things can turn bad quickly, especially out on the road. There was one place, and Tina was actually driving, not towing, just driving the truck. These are cool. This is rest area with the teepees.
Oh yeah.
But we were driving and started misting, then started raining, then turned into sleet, and before we knew it, there was like 5 inches of snow on the ground, and Tina was panicking because we were in the mountains. So
I was in tears. Well, you
Yeah.
couldn't tell where the road was.
yeah, and it was late at night, so we had to switch drivers and stuff. But
It can be tricky for sure.
that says strong wind currents. So if you feel something weird with your RVs, slow down.
So we are in New Mexico, and we are actually coming up on a border patrol inspection. So you go through these every once in a while out west. So we'll kind of see how this goes. So the trucks have to go off to the right. We don't have to go to the right though, do we? It's just like commercial trucks probably, right?
You're only following a lot of trucks.
Yeah, they're probably talking about commercial trucks, I would assume. So part of the fun of traveling is traffic jams. So we are now in bumper to bumper traffic out here, and we're still on I-10 in New Mexico.
Just past the Continental Divide.
Just past what?
Continental Divide.
Oh yeah, we did just pass the Continental Divide, and it came up on us so fast I was going to try to film it, but it was there and gone quick. Our GPS is telling us, well, we have a conflict. So TripWizard GPS is saying we have a delay of 36 minutes. Our Garmin is saying we have a delay of 90 minutes.
Well,
So
134 minutes.
oh, 134 minutes? Seriously? Oh my goodness. So we don't know. We don't know when we're going to get there. But this is why it's extremely important to make sure that you don't let your gas tank get too low, because you get caught in these and there's no exits, and you could really get yourself in a bind. So make sure that your gas tank doesn't go below a half a tank, and make sure that you know, you have everything you need before you hit the road going between exits. So luckily we had just fueled up. We just ate our lunch, so we're just sitting here and along for the ride now. Well, at least we're moving a little bit now. We're still in the traffic jam, but we're moving a little bit. But I don't know if you can see way up there. Those are all cars, so, or trucks. So we still have traffic jam, but we didn't move for a while. At least we're moving, so we'll take that. The GPS now has us at a delay of, what does it say?
51 minutes now, but
Oh, 51 minutes. It keeps jumping around, so I guess it just depends on the moment. But you can see still lots of cars around the curve, so we'll see how it goes. We're still keeping you updated.
it's a song for miles and miles.
There is a song, Miles and Miles, isn't
Yeah.
there? It's an old song.
That's what I feel like when I'm looking at the traffic. This goes on for miles and miles.
It
and
does.
miles.
It truly does.
And we remember we had binoculars in our center console, so we were taking out the binoculars trying to look at the traffic to see where it was moving at.
But we can't see around the corner, so I think it just keeps going. But it looks like it, according to Waze, it looks like it breaks up past Lordsville, but I don't know how far away Lordsville is. So, would you say 7 miles of traffic is what it said?
Yeah, it's got 4 miles remaining now.
Okay, 4 miles remaining. So we've gone 3 miles in, what, half hour, would you say?
Yeah,
Probably.
40 minutes.
So, all right, well, we're just hanging in there. So, we are now out of traffic, but apparently what happened was, and it may not have even been today, who knows, but something hit an overpass, and the overpass was damaged, so much so that the overpass actually is caving in. So what they did, the reason the traffic is so bad, is they're forcing everybody off the highway, onto the exit and then back on the highway. So that's why all the traffic was backed up so far. We are now through the traffic jam. We ended up sitting through the traffic jam a little over an hour.
Yeah, something like that.
About an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. Hour, 10 minutes, hour, 20 minutes. So, you know, could have been worse. Those are just part of the pitfalls of when you're traveling. You just don't know what you're going to run into. But the good far outweighs the bad. So now we have about, what, an hour and a half to our destination?
I think so.
Yeah. So we are entering the Texas Canyon now. So it's another neat landmark that we really enjoy when we come up here. So we're kind of going up the hill now. We'll be stopping at the rest area that's here because the rest area is beautiful. Probably one of the prettiest rest areas we've seen. And then once we leave the rest area, we'll go through the canyon, and I'll share that with you, and you can kind of follow us along as we go through the canyon because it's really spectacular. I hope it shows up on the video as pretty as I think it is. We both really think it's amazing. So anyway, come along. along with us as we go through the Texas Canyon. Okay, so here we are at the rest area for Texas Canyon, and this is part of the canyon here that as you drive through, you see all these beautiful rock formations. Oh, look at that. You can see the sun trying to peek up over the canyon there. But it's just really, really beautiful. Let's see if I can zoom in and you can kind of see some of the rocks and stuff up here. It's just gorgeous. And then if we kind of try to move slowly here, move around, you can see all the trucks. We have to park. There we are. We have to park in the truck parking because we can't fit into the regular car parking. But on the other side is a rest area that's the same, and you can see beyond the rest area is more of the canyon that we will go through. There's Chloe, and there's Don.
Hey guys.
Straight into the sun.
Turn left on Cantina Lane.
I meant to apologize for the dirty windows before because all the dust and stuff, dust and rain and everything, our windows are absolutely filthy, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, but we're we're driving into our campground, San Pedro RV Resort, and this is one of our top 10 probably campgrounds we stay at. We really like this campground a lot. Here in Benson, Arizona, it's about an hour outside of Tucson, so we usually stay here on our way in and on our way out of Arizona. So anyway, we are here, we're stopped. Don's gonna greet the host and they're going to guide us to our campsite.
All right, if you like our content, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with a buddy. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.